Most of America was upset. We didn't want the Epstein cover-up to continue. We didn't want all the evidence buried. We didn't want to be told that there aren't any files. We wanted prosecution. We wanted court cases. We wanted charges. We want to know that the high people in America and the world who are perverts that molest minor kids receive the same justice you and I would. Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of What They Don't Say. And boy, do we have one now. I promised from the beginning that this show would focus on the things that we don't hear in the news, that the other YouTubers all seem to miss because most of them just talk about different versions of whatever the news is saying. This Ghislainemaxwell thing, or Ghislaine, they keep changing the pronunciation of it. When you got a weird name, lady, you better expect it. Anyway, Ghislainemaxwell. All of a sudden now, she's become the focus since people cried foul. We didn't want it buried. We did not want the whole thing to go away. So after a bunch of hemming and hawing are arguing amongst each other, all of a sudden Trump sends his attorney, his own personal attorney, in to interview her. Well, a lot of us were saying all along, she's got to have evidence. She knows. They keep saying that it's too late, Epstein's dead, there's nothing that can be done. Yes, the perverts that did all this can be prosecuted. They're all getting away with it. Crimes that you and I would go to jail for, these people are getting away with it because they're all high society, they're people of power. Some of them are foreign. We know that. I mean, look at England, okay? There's a long history of some really bad people coming out of those royal families, and there just happened to be one that was getting his fill over there at Epstein Island. We know this. They say that the evidence doesn't show. Well, I don't care if Epstein is dead, if he really is. I don't care whatever evidence they already think they blew it on. The victims are alive. The guilty parties are still alive. Start new investigations. But after a couple of weeks of that, when we complained so much Trump was forced to reopen the investigations, it began with his own personal attorney going to visit Maxwell, all by himself, to depose her. It's supposed to be off the record. I have been involved in court depositions, or being deposed for court in both criminal and civil cases. You run a big company, which I have, that happens because the lawsuits come up. Sometimes employees are involved. The lawsuits come up. I've had to testify before grand juries because of people that I knew that had gotten in trouble. And they regretted asking me to show up. However, no attorney ever goes to those alone. And I've never seen a single attorney go in and depose a witness. I've never seen it done off record. I didn't like any of that. However, he gets done with it. Think what you want of that part. You've got my opinion. I don't like it. There should have been more than one lawyer. Should have been recorded. We don't know what they talked about. We're never going to know. For 2 days, that should have been public record. So jump ahead till now. Now the big news story is Ghislainemaxwell says that she will only testify to Congress with certain restrictions. Certain demands must be met and must include immunity. So we're supposed to think, well, wait a minute. What demands does she have? What's this immunity? No, that's not what the question is. The question is, what the hell does Congress have to do with it? What do you mean she's willing to testify in front of Congress? Where did this come from? What box did they pull this out of? Nobody said anything about we demand that she testify in front of Congress. I am not a young person anymore, right? In all of my life, I've never heard someone say, boy, I sure hope Congress investigates these crimes. You know, I've got a better idea for Congress. How about they get good at doing some Congress stuff first, huh? Before they start getting into the judicial branch actions? The executive branch has the DOJ. There's nothing in the Constitution that puts Congress in charge of investigating crimes. The first time I really started to question the congressional investigations was clear back during the baseball strikes. I was a lot younger man. But they decided you had to have a congressional investigation into the strikes. Why? I thought at the time, what the hell do they have to do with this? And I watched it pretty closely, and it was obviously just a dog and pony show. They do this to get their name out there. They want the publicity. They want their name associated with a big story, okay? But what is their motivation now? I've seen this with every investigation Congress has done. Nothing ever goes anywhere. Why in the hell would we want Congress messing around with this now when we're still dealing with the Russiagate stuff that was another congressional investigation? Who is happy with the Russiagate fiasco? We're going to put those same people in charge of another one? I'll tell you what happens. They want to get their hands on the evidence. They want it in the back rooms where they can pick it apart. This is another filter, another layer of filters for the evidence before it all comes out to us, because we still haven't seen the evidence. We still haven't seen the names. We still haven't seen the list of who was there, how many times. We know if someone went there 28 times, like a certain guy from Arkansas was purported to have gone, they aren't going there for the fishing, okay? They aren't going there for the sunshine and toes in the water. We know what they're doing. But we need the evidence. We can only surmise because we don't hear the voices of these girls. These girls have a right to justice. They have a right to hear their voices heard in court, and they are being denied those rights. This is basic constitutional rights. And these girls, these victims, are being denied that just to protect a bunch of lofty perverts. That is exactly what's going on here. Now Congress, who nobody trusts anyway. In all my life, I've never heard anybody say, please, Congress, investigate this. If we could just get Congress in there, everything would be okay. Well, we got less than 20% of Americans actually trust Congress with anything. Congress is not the lofty bastion of moral virtues. This is not their business. Beyond that, this would be the House. That's where the investigations that I've heard about would be centered. Hell, they just went on vacation for 4 weeks. They're back home meeting in the back rooms with their donors and lobbyists. They're not even going to be back for another month. This is a stall tactic. Oh, let's just give it another month. We'll say Congress is going to look at it. And then another month, it'll calm down. It'll go away. By that time, who's going to care? This is bullshit. This should not be happening. To hell with Congress. Skip them over. We don't want it to go to Congress. We want the DOJ looking into the evidence, treating it like any other damn case. Depose the victims. Get the statements. If you don't already have enough evidence, get it. The victims are still alive. Get the evidence. Except for the one that mysteriously mysteriously achieved room temperature, which was supposed to be at her own hand, which nobody believes it was. But when you get into that level of power, a lot of people seem to suddenly achieve room temperature at their own hands. Especially when there's Clintons involved, and there's Clintons involved in this one. People get Clintonized. We all know what that means. Congress has no business in this. All they can do is muddy up the water, cover for perverts. How many of these people are donors? We know that they're titans of industry. We know a lot of them are in governments, foreign and domestic. We can't trust them. That's putting the fox in charge of the hen house. It's practically having them investigate themselves because there's people from Congress that are probably involved. We can't trust anything about this. Congress has nothing to do with it. Congress should not be involved. This should go straight to the DOJ. The DOJ should treat it with integrity, which is sorely missing. They're trying to rebuild their image, and this is what comes of it? Why isn't Pam Bondi saying, no, we've got this? Why isn't she saying, we have already started our own investigation. We are going to get to the bottom of it. The American people are demanding it. The law requires it. The victims have a right to justice. No matter who you are in America, you face accountability. We're all subject to the same laws. I've never heard Bondi say that. It's time that somebody in Washington, D.C. started doing their damn job. And Congress running investigations is just flat stupid. I don't know anybody that wants it. Half of those people are the types of perverts, or I won't say half, but a large portion of those people are the types of people that went to Epstein Island. Hell, for all we know, they just want to see the dirty pictures and videos. I don't trust these people. This is not what they do. I'm not comfy with any part of it. If you want Congress doing that, drop a comment. Explain yourself. I appreciate everybody listening. Like I said, I promise to bring you viewpoints on the current topics that you don't get anywhere else. It's what they don't say. Everyone in media should be saying this. This is not Congress's business. It's a stall tactic, and it's another filter for the evidence. By the time the evidence gets through all these people, all the different layers that it's already gone through, and then you add Congress on top of that, by the time they get done, there's going to be like 3 papers left, and they'll all be redacted. This bullshit's got to stop. It's got to stop. Drop us a comment if you agree. If you don't agree, we're a new channel. We're keeping our promises, but it takes a while to break into this YouTube algorithm. We need the comments. We need the likes. I hope you subscribe. A lot more to come. I appreciate you listening. If we get this right, maybe God will continue to bless this great country of ours. Thank you.